The Akta Lakota Museum and Cultural Center. This round building was originally used for classes when it was built in 1968. When students outgrew the space in 1991, it was transformed into the Akta Lakota Museum and Cultural Center. We are told that Akta Lakota means to honor the people, or honor the Lakota Sioux, who call the plains of South Dakota home. Today, the mission of the Museum and Cultural Center is to celebrate the rich heritage of the Lakota, Dakota, and Nakota people, collectively known as the Sioux Nation. Nearly 25,000 people visit each year, and our students use it as a learning space. On the riverside of the lobby, St. Joseph's Historical and Alumni Center honors those who can say Tokea Okinajimpi. We stood here in the beginning. Engaging interactive exhibits present the history of the school and lead visitors through the daily lives of students from the 1930s to the present. An exhibit of alumni artwork is always on display. Star of Hope. Behind the lobby desk is a large driftwood mural called Star of Hope. Notice the hundreds of tiny pieces of driftwood that were sanded and stained to create the star quilt pattern in this mosaic. Former employees Bill Clark and Bill Harmon created it in their spare time. It was originally used as a memorial plaque to display the names of donors. A star quilt is the perfect design to honor donors because, like our donors, its pieces come together to make a greater whole. Our donors make it possible for St. Joseph's Indian School to offer our services free of charge to more than 200 children ages 6 to 18 each year. You will notice many works of art on campus were created by staff, students, and alumni, a reminder of the talented individuals who are dedicated to making St. Joseph's homes, school, and community center magnificent. Opposite the mural are two portraits of Red Cloud and Little Crow. They are just two of the famous tribal leaders from South Dakota who were etched into the walls of the museum. Now part of our brick and mortar, these men led the people whose history is taught within these walls. Teepee. If you are touring during the spring or summer months, you may find a teepee and horse on the front lawn that were painted by St. Joseph students under the guidance of art instructor David A. Meyer II. Students researched traditional Lakota designs from the museum collection and adapted them to reflect the meaning in their own lives. For the teepee, this meant representing the Black Hills, seen as stepped mountains along the bottom in the school's colors. This lower band is reserved to honor important places for prayer. The upper half of the teepee is painted with a traditional black band to represent the sky. Unpainted hochoka, sacred circles, are stars or constellations, which hold all that is spiritual in life. The circles allow the sun to penetrate the teepee's canvas, creating a stained glass effect on the inside. Go ahead, take a peek for yourself. Around the second band, the moon follows the Lakota lunar calendar through its 28 phases. A horse named Generosity. A horse named Generosity stands nearby. The body of the horse is painted to celebrate the horse's strength. The students carefully painted the blanket to create the impression of beadwork. The long ends of the blanket show the four winds motif. A gift from the White Buffalo calf woman, the four winds, or four directions, are an essential part of the Lakota belief system. The central image on the blanket is a cross, demonstrating the bridges between Catholicism and Lakota culture that are central to campus life. Native St. Joseph. In the museum parking lot, artist Ron Zeilinger Native St. Joseph stands as a welcoming sentinel. Zeilinger wanted to celebrate the close mentoring relationship between Jesus and his adopted father, St. Joseph, during the formative years of his life. Their closeness is apparent in their matching poses and Joseph's protective hand upon Jesus' shoulder. The eagle feather staff is a Lakota sign of integrity, honor, and distinction. Alternately, it can be interpreted as a Christian sign that foretells Jesus' destiny as the Good Shepherd. As you leave the museum parking lot, look to the right for St. Joseph's Rec Center. The St. Joseph's Braves basketball and volleyball teams play here, hosting intramural events against other Chamberlain school teams. The swimming pool is a wonderful escape for students during South Dakota's long winters. The Missouri River. Ahead is the mighty Missouri River. This particular stretch of the river is a reservoir known as Lake Francis Case. The Fort Randall Dam is about 100 miles south. St. Joseph's Indian School was founded on this location by the priests of the Sacred Heart in 1927. The river is a familiar sight for many of our students. A majority are from the Crow Creek and Lower Blue reservations, about 30 miles north, but students come from all over South Dakota and the surrounding states. Parents or guardians enroll students at St. Joseph's for the education in safe, wholesome environment. St. Joseph's Indian School offers new opportunities not available on the reservations. By the grace of God and the generosity of many friends, the school is a healthy place for Lakota children to learn, grow, and thrive. We provide for the needs of the whole child, all at no cost to our families. Medicine Wheel Garden. To the left is the Medicine Wheel Garden, which was added in the spring of 2014. Native plants in the Mnuitoni, or waters of life, create a refuge from the outside world in daily routines. At the center is the Medicine Wheel, a sacred symbol to the Plains tribes. Stand at the center where the lines meet. Here is where sacred paths of the sun and humanity meet. This center circle represents the earth. Each color represents an element in the Lakota circle of life. Wiohiampatakia, or east, is yellow because it is associated with the sun and the light of creation. The white quadrant represents Itokagatakia, the south. It is connected with the afterlife and new beginnings. Waziatakia is the red section, facing east. This direction is connected with the purity of water and power of rain. Finally, Viochbeatakia, the black section, faces north. North is home to winter and the direction of wisdom. Take a moment to sit in quiet meditation if you like, or walk around the edges to read the prayers to the 7 directions on wooden cutouts resembling sacred buffalo hides. Before turning right, notice the picnic shelter just ahead. Feel free to take advantage of this space as part of your visit to campus. Just south of the picnic area is the site of our dog park, an off-leash exercise space for the furry friends who provide pet therapy in our homes. If you have a canine companion, you are welcome to use it as well. Go around the curve to the right and stop at the Sacred Hoop Teoshpai Center. Sacred Hoop Teoshpai Center. The Teoshpai, or Extended Family Center, is a former healthcare center. In the early days, the building served as a convent. It was transformed into the home of human resources and accounting. It's just one of several spaces that St. Joseph's Indian School makes available to visiting families. Without spaces like this on campus, many students would not be able to see their families until Christmas break or even the end of the school year. Other ways we strengthen family bonds are through regular contact between parents and guardians with students, teachers, house parents, and family service counselors. St. Joseph's Indian School also provides a family program to promote healthy bonds between parents and their children. Partnering with our families is core to our mission, and we engage in innovative work to strengthen family life. Health Center. Next on your right is a state-of-the-art Health and Family Services Center completed in October 2017. The first floor houses a health center for students, staff, and staff families. Along the riverside are 3 double and 4 single patient rooms where up to 10 students are able to receive care on days they cannot attend school due to illness. Nurses care for them and make appointments with the doctor as necessary. A physician's assistant is available 4 days a week, and a provider is on call at all times. All of the children's medical needs are met, including checkups and regular immunizations. The second floor is where our staff of 12 master's level family service counselors are located. The average school in South Dakota, the size of St. Joseph's Indian School, has only 1. When our counselors do admissions work, they spend time with each student and their parent or guardian, making sure St. Joseph's Indian School will be able to meet the child's needs. Beyond admissions work, counselors spend time with students in classrooms, in their homes, and during regular counseling sessions. Admission surveys tell us more than 60% of our students have experienced violence in their homes. We provide the resources our students need to work through these and other difficult situations. We work hard to keep students in touch with their families and make sure parents and guardians understand the vital role they play in helping their children succeed in school. Move ahead along the river and stop when the school building is on your right. The Health and Family Services Center adjoins the school to the north. Mosaics on the south side of the school building were preserved and incorporated into the new facility's second floor conference room. About the school building. Classrooms. This building used to serve as St. Joseph's dormitory before we made a change to family living units. Now it is a school attended by children in grades 1 through 8. We keep our classes small, around 12 or 13 students, to ensure each child receives individual attention. Once students complete the 8th grade, they can enroll in St. Joseph's High School program, where students live on campus but attend Chamberlain Public High School. The high school program averages about 50 students each year. Exchange programs allow some students to visit France and Germany, and we host students from those countries as well, through partnerships with other schools run by the Priests of the Sacred Heart. Elementary school. Elementary school students study core subjects such as math, science, and language arts. In addition, they take Native American studies and religious studies classes. Though we are affiliated with the Catholic Church through the Priests of the Sacred Heart, children do not have to be Catholic to attend St. Joseph's Indian School. About 60% of our students are Catholic and receive sacramental preparation, including baptism, First Communion, and confirmation upon request. Native American Studies program. In Native American Studies, students study the Lakota language, traditional ceremonies, and the history and cultural heritage of their people. At St. Joseph's, we are careful to respect each child's personal beliefs. In addition to attending Mass on Sundays, students have opportunities to participate in traditional Lakota ceremonies, such as Inipi, the rite of purification. Inipi is often referred to as a sweat lodge or prayer lodge. These options are a vital part of the cultural development we provide our students. Classroom building, sculpture, and mosaic. A marble statue of St. Joseph stands over the school's entrance. Brother Bonaventure, a teacher here during the 1950s, designed this sculpture, the surrounding mosaics, and many other works on campus. Dressed in a simple robe and surrounded by rabbits, squirrels, and snakes, St. Joseph looked similar to the missionaries who first came to South Dakota. The young children, one holding a crucifix, the other a bow, on either side of St. Joseph, have merged their traditional lives with Christian values. These bridges between the Catholic tradition and Lakota culture are an element in much of the campus artwork. See the eagle on the bottom left? It represents a messenger from God. The buffalo skull on the right is a reminder of Jesus' sacrifice. Mosaics, left side. Colorful mosaics across the front of the classroom building present the shared history of the Catholic and Lakota people in South Dakota. The story begins on the left in 1839 with the arrival of Father Pierre-Jean de Smet, a Jesuit missionary. Celebrations of Lakota life fill the center panels. They represent, in order, the nurturing bonds of family, Lakota conservation practices and relationship with nature, equestrian skills, and spiritual celebrations. The threat to these priorities and to the native people of South Dakota is illustrated in the sixth mosaic. A tribal leader and a soldier pass a peace pipe, consecrating one of the many treaties that would be broken by the United States government as settlers pushed westward. Finally, the sacrament of baptism is illustrated in the last mosaic as a young child joins the Catholic faith. Mosaics, right side. Mosaics on the right side of the building tell the story of the school. Devotion to Our Lady of the Sioux, a Lakota Virgin Mary and baby Jesus, signals the inevitable entwining of the two cultures as they work side by side. To the right, priests of the Sacred Heart, the founders of St. Joseph Indian School, began arriving in South Dakota in 1876. When the school opened in 1928, Franciscan and Benedictine sisters seen in the third square arrived to help run the school and care for the children. They were the primary caregivers here until the 1970s. The next several mosaics celebrate the acceptance of Jesus Christ and sacraments of the Eucharist and the anointing of the sick. The final mosaic is the joyful dance of a soul upon its arrival at its heavenly home. On either end of the building, animals honor the Lakota people's unity with nature. The Lakota say Mitakuye Oyasi, which means all my relatives, and encompasses all of the natural world. As you pass to the north of the school building, walk east to the corner of Building 11. Building 11. As you approach Building 11, you will see our playground and football field to your left. St. Joseph students participate in the same sports offered by the average South Dakota middle school: football, volleyball, basketball, and track. Basketball is by far the most popular. Powwow. The football field is also the site of our annual powwow each September. The powwow is a wonderful educational event that allows us to welcome students, families, community members, and benefactors from around the world. Events begin on Friday afternoon with a cultural presentation and the crowning of royalty. On Saturday morning, students offer tours of their homes and school. The powwow begins at noon and lasts all day. The day concludes with Mass, an awards presentation, and a traditional meal of buffalo stew. All events are free of charge and open to all. If you would like more information on St. Joseph's annual powwow, inquire at the front desk of the Akta Lakota Museum and Cultural Center. Central offices. The building to your right is our central offices. Once the development office, in the recent past, it housed the counseling staff before their move to the Health and Family Services Center in 2017. Today, it is used for administrative offices and as a conference center for a variety of meetings for staff as well as students. Dining hall. To your left is the Ruth Dolores Clift Dining Hall. Students have lunch here every school day. All other meals are eaten at the students' campus homes. The dining hall is also the campus grocery store. The quantity of food and supplies we need to take care of more than 200 students allows St. Joseph's to purchase supplies at a discount, saving several $1,000s each year. Everything we do is funded by private benefactors like you. Thank you for everything you make possible. Geothermal plant. If you are here in the winter, you might be interested in the geothermal plant. It is across from the dining hall and to your right. Our heat comes primarily from electricity and the geothermal energy produced here. Inside are 5 wells. Each is about 1,000 feet deep, where the water remains a balmy 75 degrees year-round. The wells deliver water to a templifier that heats the water and pumps it through campus. This method saves thousands of dollars every year compared to heating with fuel oil. Kerala Home. The entrance to the Kerala Home, one of the 5 homes for high school students, is found directly across from the dining hall. Visitors are welcome to explore the campus, but we ask that you be accompanied by a staff member to visit a home. If you would like a home tour, inquire at the front desk of the museum. There are a total of 20 family-style homes on campus. Each home accommodates 12 students and 2 house parents. Proceed to the stop sign ahead. Kateri Building. To your left is the Kateri Building. Remodeled and dedicated in 2003, the building formerly served as a residence for religious staff on campus. Now it houses 2 or more of our high school homes, one for girls and one for boys. The Hogabak and Shea homes, constructed in 2007, are the 2 other high school homes. They are located up the hill from the museum. The Benedictine Homes. The Benedictine Homes are in the building to your right with the cobblestone foundation. It is one of the only remaining original structures on campus. There are 6 family-style homes in the Benedictine building, where students in 1st through 3rd grades live. Other homes are found on the south side of the Apta Lakota Museum. 4th through 6th grade students live in some, and 7th and 8th grade students live together in others. This arrangement provides students the opportunity to get to know a variety of people through everyday activities, not just those in the classroom. House parents fill the same capacity as a parent, waking children in the morning, greeting them at the door when school is out, cooking meals, helping with homework, and everything in between. Students learn basic life skills by sharing different chores every week. Chores include cleaning bathrooms, helping with dinner dishes, sweeping, and vacuuming. Native Holy Family. Over the doorway to the Benedictine building, you see a stained glass window by artist Ron Zeilinger. The Native Holy Family stands in front of a brightly colored teepee under a sun drawn in the Lakota pictograph for happy. Zeilinger carefully chose each object for its role in foretelling Christ's sacrifice. The sun is a reminder of the sun dance, during which the dancer offers himself on behalf of his people, and is willing to suffer so that others will be made strong and live good lives. A buffalo, another sign of sacrifice, peeks out from behind the teepee. The animal gives everything of itself so that the Lakota may live. The entire scene is blessed by the small sage plant in the foreground. Sage is burned to bless or cleanse. Reinhardt Stained Glass Studios from Monona, Minnesota created this window after Zeilinger's design. Our Lady of the Sioux Chapel. Straight ahead is Our Lady of the Sioux Chapel. Mass is celebrated every Sunday during the school year, and all our children attend. Please go in and admire the beautiful artwork in stained glass. Our chapel is open all the time, and you are always welcome to stop for a visit. We ask that you give our chapel the same respect you would to any other place of worship. This is indeed holy ground, rich with Lakota and Catholic spirituality and traditions. Our Lady of the Sioux Chapel was built in 1956. Edward J. Schulte of Cincinnati designed the chapel, blending modern elements and traditional Catholic iconography. Brother Bonaventure, a teacher at the school, was instrumental in making changes to the design that expressed the connections between Lakota spirituality and Catholicism. Brother Bond's influence is visible throughout the chapel. Chapel exterior. Look up. Our Lady of the Sioux Chapel bridges 2 spiritual traditions. Some elements, such as the marble sculpture of the Our Lady of the Sioux, are easy to spot. The Blessed Mother and Jesus are depicted as Lakota to celebrate the belief that eternal life bridges the earthly constraints of time, space, ethnicity, and more. As the Lakota say, Mitako ye oyasi, all my relatives. Above Our Lady of the Sioux is the bell tower. In Lakota symbolism, 3 ascending rectangles represent the Black Hills. The Pahasapa, as they are called in Lakota, are the center of the world where warriors went to wait for visions and to speak to the Great Spirit. The arrow shapes pointing heavenward express Christian imagery. The 3 triangles on the bottom are symbolic of the Trinity. The center 2 triangles acknowledge the 2 natures of Christ, both human and divine. The top triangle is symbolic of the one true God. Florrick Memorial Park. The school's grounds crews created this memorial for longtime donor Frank J. Florrick as a place for meditation and reflection that honored the cultural and spiritual influences of the students. Visitors are first drawn to the towering iron teepee. Further down the path, a granite cross inlaid in the clearing of a garden honors donors and founding fathers. As you move toward the campus entrance, the Lakota homes are to your right and the Nagel Business Office is on your left. Campus entrance. Upon the rock at the entrance of St. Joseph's Indian School campus stands a welcoming committee. St. Joseph tenderly holds a young baby Jesus who closely watches over 2 older children. St. Joseph is symbolic, according to artist Darwin Wolf, of our staff who hold the children as they learn together. A young girl in traditional Lakota dress calls visitors in. Holding a colorful star quilt and eagle feathers, she is the cultural foundation for students. The young man with the basketball learns from the other figures, integrating the similarities of both traditions into contemporary life. Wolf worked with students and staff to create a work of art that reflected their feelings about the school. He even used students as models.